Hi there, it is time for Meals with Melissa, and of course I have an excellent option for you today considering that New Year's is just around the corner. And I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit of junk food done. Like I just can't do anymore. You know, I allow myself a little more over the holidays because I love it and I love to bake, but this time of year I'm ready to just be clean for a little while. So I've got some healthier options if you're gonna throw a party or if you're supposed to bring something to a party. I'm going to show you just some great ideas that you can mix and match and make some great snacks or some hors d'oeuvres for your holiday party. Now, I have to giggle because one of my children had no idea how you say hors d'oeuvres. I don't even know how I learned that, but it is hors d'oeuvres, not, I think we called it something really super funny last night. Not gonna mention that here. But anyway, so I've got a couple of ideas. I've actually got a total of 4, but like I said, you can totally mix and match according to your tastes, who's coming, and how much time that you have available. And of course, some of it you can actually throw together in advance and have it ready, or you can have something ready to go in the oven. So I've got some great options for you today. And of course, they're all a little bit healthier versions. Now, they're not gonna be perfect, but definitely better than what most of my family's been eating for the last few days. So the first one I'm going to show you is, I found that they called it a Big Mac bite, but I've never been a fan of McDonald's Big Macs. I just find them really disgusting. That's just me, and of course I don't really do fast food anymore, but I liked the theory and the idea of it because it kind of takes the meatball to a next level. Plus, you can choose your proteins and do some different things with that. So what I have for you today is I've used turkey burger. Now, of course, that comes in lots of options when it comes to how much fat is added to it. I've chosen 10%. I really wanted it to at least be able to cook and have a little bit of fat to it. And if your macros have you a little more lower carb, you can go a little bit higher in fat. So you're gonna pick a protein, some sort of a burger, whether that's, like I said, I'm using turkey burger, you could use some lean beef. You could also use chicken sausage, which of course y'all know is my favorite. But I have a lot of clients and friends right now who have game in their freezer, whether it's venison, you could even use buffalo if you really wanted to. So, elk, deer, pick one of those. They're really lean. And if I know sometimes they're a little gamey, but it's a really great, they're obviously grass fed. So that's a great option. So what I've done, I've already made one, but I'm going to show you what I'm going to do with that. I've already pre-cooked my little patties. Now realize they're going to shrink. So, plan for that. They're not going to quite be as big as you originally anticipated. But like I said, I cooked them in advance. I threw some spices in there. I did a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and then my family's a big fan of Lowry seasoning salt. That's just what we like. So I threw a little bit in there as well. And then all I'm gonna do with that is I'm gonna take a little piece of Sargento cheese. Now, again, it really depends on what your macros are. You might have to mix and match and make something a little bit different for you, depending if you're going a little lower fat. Personally, I'd rather go lower carb than fat because your body needs the fats, but that's a story for another day. But I'm using ultra thin Sargento cheese. It's only 45 calories per slice, and I'm using a quarter slice, so it's really not gonna add a whole lot to your burger. So I'm gonna put that on there. Now you could add some onions, whatever you like on your burger. I'm just adding some lettuce, and then I'm just gonna take my toothpick and skewer it and make it really kind of edible if somebody just wants to take a little bit and put it on their plate, or if they want to walk around with it. Although I don't know if I recommend that. So it makes it super simple. Like I said, you could throw a little bit of mustard on there. Mustard's almost a freebie. Just make sure that you're paying attention to the ingredients, because I know, guys, Dijon and stuff like that is going to have some added sugars and things like that, especially like honey mustard. Again, now you're kind of undoing the healthy end of things by adding some sugar. So super cute, super easy, super fast. People can put whatever they want in there. They can put some tomato. The recipe I got off of Pinterest said that you could add some special sauce, which honestly, if you're going low carb, higher fats, wouldn't be necessarily a bad option. You could add a little bit of mayo, a little bit of cut up pickle, dill pickle, and some spices to it, and actually it would make it super easy. You could dip or put a little bit on there. So that's choice one. Second, okay, so again, super, super simple. You're just bringing some things together to make easy. Personally, I like low carb. So next, I'm going to actually now I call these tuna pickle bites. However, you don't necessarily have to use tuna. I know not everybody's a fan, but it's super fast, and especially now that they have flavored packets, pretty easy to just pick one up and throw it together. And you can either add a little bit of mayo, or honestly, we just do mustard at my house. We don't tend to add a whole lot of extras to it because, again, mustard is a freebie. So you can mix this up, put it on pickles. Now, I actually grabbed, because they're already pre-sliced and flat and really easy to do, these are Mount Olive sandwich stuffers. They're dill and they're already cut so that they're flat. Like I said, it makes it super easy to use them as your vehicle to carry whatever proteins you're gonna put on there. So I'm just gonna cut it in half. And if I'm using tuna, of course, I would spoon that on there. But the one that I've made is just a little bit of low sodium, nitrate-free deli meat. Now, deli meat is a processed food, so I don't do a whole lot of that at my house. But again, we're kind of talking about a little bit healthier versions of things for your party. So I've got a little bit of chicken, rotisserie chicken, deli meat on there with a little bit of my cheese. And again, you could add a little bit of mustard if you wanted to. With the dill pickle, I don't really think you need it. But put my little toothpick in there, makes it super simple. You could also use cucumber as a vehicle for your proteins. And lots of great options on there. Again, if you're a little bit lower carb, you can go with a higher fat. You could add some flavored cream cheese. Another great one, smoked salmon, or even just cooked salmon. Love salmon, so always a great option for me. You know, find what you like, put it on there and see if it works. The benefit of using the vegetables, especially like the cucumbers, is that you're gonna get that freshness, that brightness from the vegetable. And honestly, you're getting nutrients. So that's a bonus, right? So again, great options for that, pickles or cucumber. Then I also took a little bit of zucchini. Now I know zucchini is pretty much out of season at this point. So the zucchini you're gonna get at the store is like really small. So unfortunately, my little rounds are a little smaller than I'd really like them to be. But that being said, I made the idea kind of as a pizza bite, but I'm not gonna lie, I don't do a whole lot of spaghetti sauce or pizza sauce at my house because most of the commercially made ones contain a ton of sugar. And if you don't believe me, read the label. When you read the label on these guys, you can't just read what it says for like the nutrients, where it says like carbs and sugars, 0, because a lot of the manufacturers know how to use some loopholes and they actually add more sugar than you think they do because they add them all in separately. There's different types of sugar and they don't have to, if it's under a certain amount per serving, they don't actually have to list it in the carbohydrates and the sugars, but they do have to list it as an ingredient. So if you have like maybe cane sugar and high fructose corn syrup and they're gonna list that all separately and it's not gonna look like there's as much sugar in it, but there is. So you'd be surprised at how many processed foods actually add sugar, and partially because they know that you'll keep coming back for it. It's something that stimulates the brain. We tend to like it. We tend to want more of it. So even salty and savory foods contain a whole lot of sugar if they're a processed food. So I'm not really gonna do any spaghetti or any sort of pizza sauce on that. I just chose to do some zucchini, and used some mozzarella cheese, a little bit of Parmesan. Now, I utilized chicken sausage because, of course, y'all know that's my favorite because it's actually lower in fat and calories than turkey burger for the most part. Plus, it already comes pre-seasoned, which is amazing, and there's different flavors of it. So I've added a little bit of pre-cooked Isernio's chicken sausage to it, but you could, again, not a huge fan of pepperoni. It's got a lot of sodium. Just not really your healthiest option, but you know, if you cut it in really small pieces, not the worst thing that you could do. I use grated mozzarella, but you could also use little sheets of it. It'll probably, especially with my little small rounds that I had to use, it probably would have stayed a little bit better, but still, yeah, just a great option, super simple. And again, you're just poking a toothpick in everything and making it super easy to haul with you. So again, it's not that difficult to turn something that could be a huge, diet buster, I guess if you will call that. Again, you know I don't like the word diets, but you know, if you've already been eating a lot of extra foods that you know are probably not the healthiest for you, why not make it a better option? Especially if you're gonna be drinking New Year's Eve, you might as well go with some lower carb, healthier options that have your proteins and your vegetables in them. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that gives you some ideas. If this isn't enough ideas, now again, I'm back to simple, guys, because the last few weeks I've tried to do some more complicated things and that just does not work out for me. I don't do complicated. But if this isn't complicated enough for you, or if you feel like you just need some other options, you know what, hit up Pinterest. There's some great things on there. Just be wary that not everything that you read on the internet is true. Oh, good heavens. Yeah, I get a little annoyed, especially this time of year when I start to see all the garbage pop up. But, you know, sometimes have some common sense. If it's involving some vegetables and maybe a lean protein, you're probably on the right path and you should be able to get some really great ideas from that. So happy holidays, everybody. Hopefully you had an incredible Christmas. May your New Year's be incredibly bright and hopeful, and we will see you soon. Have a great one, guys. Bye now.